What's up, YouTube? We are back, and there is some aftermath or a second part to our tire change saga, which is a new TPMS sensor. This just came in. It's the Autel MX sensor, and I will say there are a few different types of these that I didn't even know about. This is like the metal press-in kind, and I'm going to see if it'll work for this application because I think it's technically like a bolt-in, but for some of the press-ins, you actually have to have like a tire tool or a valve stem tool, and the valve stem is right on that spoke there, and that tool basically screws in, I think, to the valve stem, and then you just pull it down, or you pull it over, kind of like a tire iron really, and it just pulls the stem through the hole in the wheel or the rim. Anyway, we're going to go with this one, and I'll unbox it. I'll also put the PDF on the screen if I can, just to kind of walk through the installation process real quick. So that'll be on the screen now. Okay, and here's the unit. So we are going to unscrew, let's actually get the cap off first, and then this right here, and then I'm just going to take out the core as well, because might as well. The core, by the way, I didn't say this explicitly, but it is right in there. It's in the valve stem. Also, it comes with this little washer. Don't lose that. All right, a quick note with the instructions. It does mention, at least I believe, that pretty much this entire unit has to be replaced if you ever take it out. And I'm guessing that's because this right here, the gasket, just deforms, and maybe it wouldn't seal as well. That's my guess. So take that with a grain of salt. I did mention, hey, good idea to take this out when you replace these. Or replace your tires rather. But I think with these, actually, you can just push a little button to pull the sensor itself off. That might be just as good. Like, this sticking down isn't as likely to get caught on that tire. It's really that sensor that sits here that is what I broke. So anyway, just wanted to mention it based on what the instructions say. All right, next order of business, we need to program the sensor, or really clone it. So I'm going to go into the TPMS module. Okay, so we're into the TPMS module, and we are going to clone the sensor. Okay, I'm actually starting this over because I didn't capture it on screen. I was too busy like figuring all of this out. We're going to trigger this one. So I'm going to hit trigger and have it right next to it, and that triggers it. So it's that information there. And then we're going to go to programming and go down to the left right and say copy by activation. And we are going to program this sensor, and then it will start up. I'm just putting the sensor right underneath the scan tool. There we go. And it does, okay, so it gives that ID, of course. It also gives that number right there, which is what the sensor is. And I don't think that it has the ID on this sensor. But from everything that I can gather with this, it should work just fine. I think that it did trigger this one appropriately. And then we registered it over to here. Just checking real quick to see if this old sensor has any of that information on it. Yeah, it does, right here. 8D525 4AC. So, yep, that was the ID that got programmed now onto this sensor. All right, so I'm done with that. I'm gonna just go back. That should all be fine, and escape out of there. Okay, so now we're ready to just go ahead and install this sensor into the rim. Okay, here we go. We're gonna put this sensor back on. I'm installing the centering cone back on so that I can properly shove the bead out of the way without the wheel like lifting off on me. It is, I will admit, a little bit difficult, but I think we'll manage. Okay, I actually dropped this down into the bead. Don't do that. Anyway, here we go. Much simpler this time. I'm gonna hold on to it real good. Okay, This is where I bust out a torque wrench. This is from Tekton. It's just a little 1/4-inch drive torque wrench. This goes to 4 Newton meters. So we're gonna set the torque wrench to that setting. I will be honest, I always find the 1/4-inch torque wrenches to be a little bit intimidating because it's always such a small amount that you have to give it. I don't want to break anything ever. All right, so it's 5 on the inch-pound, but 0 on the Newton meter scale. So I think this would be 4.5 Newton meter. So we want to back that off. Now if that's 3.4 and it's at 0 Newton meters, so 0.56 additional Newton meters. Let's go down one more. Now once we have that on, you have to put this little pin into a hole in order for this not to rotate. So you're kind of holding that. Okay, and it clicked. You might not be able to hear it, but I can feel it. It did wind up bending this pin quite a bit. Okay, here goes nothing, fam. I'm gonna try and get this on there without dropping it into the tire. That would be quite disastrous. And I think I have to rotate this a little bit more. Until the pegs are on the side. By pegs, there's 2 little posts that sit off to the sides of this thing. And there's one here and one here on this right here. And there's a little slot or indentation on the sensor itself. So you just have to have that in the right orientation to get that up. But we are done. Now we can fill it with air. So that's our next step. I'm gonna make sure the bead didn't shift around or unseat itself. I turned off the air compressor this time, so you should have 2 pops. There's one. And a second one. And now I'll just fill it up. We're at about 32, so a little bit more. All right, we're gonna let the Ryobi finish the job here. All right, right at 35. Now, another order of business. We need to set our torque wrench back down. It says to store it at it says right here to store it at 10 inch-pounds. So we will do that. And so that's where we're at right there, 10 inch-pounds. I should have read these instructions. Newton meters 4 converts over to 35.40 inch-pounds. Yeah, so I think it would have been at this setting here, 35. And then 0.4, so I can't really get an in-between. So I think that that's what I had set it to, 0.56. I'll have to look at that in post. But either way, I was pretty close. And magically, it's the next day. I actually am really glad I had to stop last night because it gave me time to pause and reflect on the torque setting for that valve stem. Now, I'm a DIYer and I like torque settings. I like torque wrenches, and I like just knowing that the job is done right. So I made the comment that I'm not too worried about it if it's a click or 2 off, but I kind of am. Like, I really want to know, is it going to be okay? Because I don't know what the ramifications of not having that tight enough are. Is it going to just completely blow out? Is it just going to leak air? I would think, you know, the latter. Like, it's screwed on. Like if it's not tight enough, okay, yeah, maybe it will come out, but, or, you know, like the nut would come off. But I mean, that's probably not gonna happen all at once, I wouldn't think. Anyway, I digress. I called Autel because they have really great customer service, and it was just gnawing at me that they don't have a range. It just says 4 Newton meters, and that's it. There's no range. And the tech I spoke with said, you know, obviously this isn't like written down or anything, but he said, look, if it's 3.5, it's probably fine, 3.5 Newton meters. Because my torque wrench, as you saw, doesn't go to 4. It's, you know, a little under, a little over. And anyway, yeah, so I was pretty much right. I mean, I had it plenty tight, and he basically said, yeah, just make sure it's tight enough. And I would say, based on what I felt, I have enough experience to know when something feels like you're kind of pushing the limit, you know what I mean? And that's what it felt like. So anyway, all that said, at the end of the day, it just has to be tight enough. All right, on to balancing this and get this thing back on the road. All right, let's see where we're at. I tend to be that guy who calls with the really complicated and weird questions. I felt that way today with Autel. Looks like it's a little light on this side, but we will bounce it a bit more. One of these days, I'll post a video about my experience with a ball joint on a Hyundai. Ball joint from Moog. I really like Moog, they have good products. This is looking really perfectly balanced, so I'm just gonna keep testing. But yeah, I'm glad I questioned things because it has saved me a time or two in the past. Yeah, this is right smack in the middle. I'm gonna try and get quite a bit of play in this. Yeah, I'm calling this good. It's right smack in the middle each and every time. Hopefully that shows up well on camera. And I do just want to really briefly say a couple of things on this. I mentioned it in the last video, but some people do say that you're supposed to modify these wheel balancers. So for me, I really want to actually experiment with how good of a quality this provides, unmodified. And, you know, again, I like to tinker with things and experiment if it's not going to become a safety concern. And I don't think it will be. If anything, I think my tires are just going to wear prematurely. And I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't want that to happen. In this day and age, inflation's out of control, prices are sky high. I could talk about that for hours, if not days and weeks. But point being, this feels good enough to me. This is one of those situations where I don't really sense any danger with it being off a little bit here or there. Again, I think it would just cause premature wear. And that can cause issues, but I keep pretty good watch over the vehicles, the 2 vans that I maintain regularly. And so if I see something, I'm gonna notice it. So anyway, I'm gonna put this back on the car, and then I'll probably fire up the Autel just to make sure that the TPMS sensor is actually working and reading. All right, it's time to torque down the lug nuts. I always do this. It is really important. I had one wheel one time where the lug nuts were walking themselves off, and it made a really weird noise with the wheel kind of warbling and stuff. So I'm always super careful to double and triple check this. Really important. This goes to 94 foot-pounds for my Odyssey. Your car will probably be different. You can check your owner's manual or online to see what the torque setting is, and I like to go at the max value. Also, go in a star pattern. One other benefit to doing this yourself, every time I've ever taken my car to a shop, they impact these lugs on so tight that I have to get out my biggest breaker bar or impact wrench. I mean, God forbid you get stuck on the side of the road trying to get one of those off. It's just ridiculous. At 94 foot-pounds, the max setting that these are supposed to go to, I have no trouble getting them off with just about anything I need to. So, but they're still plenty tight enough to hold the wheel on, of course. It's their proper torque setting. All right, final thoughts. The Autel here makes it super easy, as do their MX sensors. Not a sponsor, it's just what I'm using and have. I like having the capability to do this at home. Anywho, hope this was enjoyable for you. If it was, please give me a like. I'm really trying to build up the channel and give a lot of great content. Please comment below if you saw anything I did that was inappropriate or that you just want to comment on. I welcome anything and everything. Please keep it positive, of course. And lastly, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. I have lots more content coming, many things on the docket. Again, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Peace. I don't know if this is going to show up well in camera or not, but I see another project I've got in my future. Check that out. A leaking shock. Ugh. Well, 190,000 miles. That's quite a bit of wear and tear on it, I'd say. There's always something.